everyone. If you missed out on that last short, we're here at the car wash in St. Charles in 60174 Illinois. Best car wash in town. Like I was mentioning, they were running a promotion where you paid $1 and for 30 days you got a free car wash. And the package, I believe, goes from, there's a car here in my way, I don't know why. Basically the car wash that I purchased, or you get the best wash, right, with the $1, but after the 30 days, I'm going to be doing the $30 car wash, which is basically $1 basically a day again. And it includes the triple foam, your normal stuff that you get at a premium car wash. There is a $40 package which has everything the $30 package has. The only difference is that it has I believe it's ceramic sealant. To protect the paint and stuff like that. It gives it even a nicer gloss. But like I was talking to the one that runs the place, his name is Hector, and I had told him that my car has a lot of micro scratches, swirls, scratches just from dings, all that good stuff. And I was looking on their website, and it looks like they offer basically restoration. And I was asking him, I'm like, look, what's your recommendation? Is this something that you guys are able to do? And he said, yeah, definitely. So I'm definitely going to come back and see if he can, take off as many of those scratches as he can. Obviously, if the micro scratches and stuff like that, and the swirls, he did mention that would have to be paid out of cost, or paid out. Other stuff, he said that I would basically have to come in and see if it's even possible. Anything as far as stuff that took off the paint already and went into the primer, I would have to use a touch-up pen. And I asked him, if I was to use a touch-up pen and then bring it back to him, for basically polishing, is that something that he could do? And he said that he would just have to again look at the car beforehand. So I'm planning on looking into doing that. Oh, it's a Camry. Nice. But yeah, other than that, yesterday, kind of just kicked back, was playing a little bit of Halo, and I was testing a little bit of my Wi-Fi. The laptop that I have, I paid roughly about $3,200 plus the insurance package through a Sirion protection plan for 3 or 4 years, 5 years I think it was, which was another $350, $370, $380 right around there. And it was not a very pleasant experience. I did learn a lot about my Wi-Fi though, and the frames per second drops. Normally when I'm running on LAN, I'm ranging anywhere between lowest 90 frames per second, highest frames per second, about 144. That's in game. When I'm just sitting in the menu, it bounces anywhere between like 120 up to like 244, right around there. And that's running the 4090 laptop version. But yeah, I was dropping frames all the way, I think, down to like 15 frames per second. So you can only imagine what that looked like. The game was acting by itself. It was kind of weird. Like, how can I explain it? Like, I would make a right move and it was going left, and then going other ways. Like, it didn't know how to behave itself. But Other than that, it was pretty cool. Yeah. I had planned on looking into doing a little bit more of the boot camp trainer, which you guys will stay tuned for that one. There's some other little tweaks that I'm planning on doing. This week is going to be basically a full 5 days nonstop of work, your traditional 9 to 5 sort of thing, even though I don't have a traditional 9 to 5. Yeah, it's I'm gonna get some downtime today because today is my day off for Sunday. Did my morning routine, got my prayers going up, and anyone that's feeling down, trust in God, trust in Jesus. Believe me, he's changed a lot within I'd say within the last 6 months. So much has happened within my life. Dreams, people have come into my life. It's just it's incredible. But I mean, that's up to you if you need it. But anyways, yeah. So I'm hoping by the end of the week I could be at the stage where now I can officially say that it's about 1 to 2 days of just polish on the boot camp trainer. And then I'll be rolling that out probably by, the end of not this week, but the next week. That's probably a good plan right there. But whatchamacallit, I did get the packages that I had mentioned in the short from a couple of days ago for vlogging every single day. For example, I got the mounts here that is going to be mounted on the windshield. So what you're seeing now is basically on the vent clip on the CRZ, and it seems like it's working pretty good. But I think it'd be better if I was to mount it on the windshield, potentially, only because right now I can't. Well, let's see if I can do it from the CarPlay. Yeah, I guess I could change the music, but I can't really view all the music that would be on the CarPlay, because I think if I close the app that I'm using, by the way, I'm using a new mic, if you can see. I bought an external mic. Highly recommend it. It sounds way more crisp than the built-in mic on the iPhone 16. It's called Smart Mic Plus. If I remember, I'll drop it in the link. Otherwise, just look it up. It's called Smart Mic, M-I-K-E, and then the symbol plus. I think I roughly paid about $80 for it, and it comes with two filters. One thing I learned today was this one is for when you're vlogging outside. It's for, basically denoising all the fuzz, the noise that's outside. And then your traditional foam one is for when you're indoors where there's less noise. So for me personally, I live in a household where there's a lot of noise because I'm Mexican. Anyways, yeah, so I'm using this one all the time, but I'm going to be carrying a backpack with, all my necessary things for when I'm, vlogging, like I mentioned to you guys, for daily vlogs. But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, if I was to mount this here on the windshield, let me see. No, that would be way too close. Mount this here. No, I may actually end up returning this, but we'll do some test fitting on it and go from there, because I kind of like this where it's at right now. And let's see what else. I figured out the issue with my CarPlay. So I bought one of those portable CarPlay radios about, I think it was in 2024, and everything was working fine, but then about a year and a half ago, it just randomly, the signal of the music just randomly stopped working. it would randomly drop and then the music would start playing again. And I messed around with it, and basically the way it's set up is that it's not connected through Bluetooth and it's not connected through Wi-Fi, essentially, that it shows on my iPhone. But it is essentially connected through Wi-Fi, either 2.4 gigahertz or through a 5.0 gigahertz. It just doesn't show on the iPhone that it's connected, but it is connected. That's why it's showing up. And I thought that I had to physically see that it was connected through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So what I would do is I would go to Bluetooth and connect to Bluetooth, and it would connect. It would say connection connected, but then out of nowhere, when it would just get disconnected, and I wouldn't know why. So, but long story short, the way I have it set up now is I can show you guys here. Give me 1 second here. So that's the portable CarPlay, and that's where I had you guys mounted right here. That's the radio for the CRZ. It doesn't have CarPlay in the built-in CRZ 2012 model. It does have an aux port though, and it did come with USB. But basically down here, all this wiring, you know, I have this all set up here for extra plugs and all that other good stuff, which I'm going to be using in the near future for setups for cameras and blind spots and all that good stuff. But I'll stay tuned for that one. But basically the way this is set up is the phone is connected to the portable CarPlay through Wi-Fi. Give me 1 second here, I got an incoming call. It's connected through the portable Wi-Fi, and then so it's connected to the portable Wi-Fi, and then it's kind of hard to tell, but the cable aux here is connected through the USB-C port on my it's connected through the USB-C port on the iPhone, which then gives the audio signal. So the visual signal is getting passed through the CarPlay through the wireless connection, and the audio is getting fed through the aux, which is, there may be a slight delay, but I mean, it works fine. But other than that, I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now for a Sunday recap, and what's going to be happening up in the next 1 week, 2 weeks. There's a couple things like I mentioned as far as the cameras. CRCs are very notorious for these blind spots. So for example, right here, when you try to look over, literally this is what you see. Great, hold up. So if you can tell, I can't even see. So that's your blind spot. So when you look over, you can't even tell there's a car there. So I had ordered this 15-inch wide mirror that I can basically put up on top of here, and it may help, but I don't think it's gonna help one bit. I'm gonna test fit it and maybe just keep it for something, but I don't think it's gonna help. It may help for the right side, for the passenger side, but not for the driver's side. So that's $30 that I wasted, which I can send back to Amazon, but I'll test fit it and see if it works. And then as far as the cameras, the ones that I was looking at was, so the portable CarPlay that I have, it did come with dash cam mounted in the front, built into it, like facing the front. And then it did come with an external rear view camera that can be mounted for the back, right? And then there's a port that connects for the camera. And these cameras are, running, continuously. Now, I believe this one doesn't offer the 24 monitoring, but I could look into it and probably set that up. But that would be for the camera for the front, dash, and then the rear camera would be the one for that one would be, I haven't really decided, but it's either going to be mounted on the rear bumper, you know, so for when I'm reversing, which is obviously what most people use the camera for, but either for that or for using it as a dash cam for the rear. And that one, I believe the camera is somewhere in here. Yeah, so basically it's there. Let me take it out here for you guys. So it's basically that, and it looks like this one is meant to be on the outside. It is adjusted obviously by the screws for tightening and all that good stuff. So I'm assuming what I could do is just put some adhesive tape on here and mount it on the rear windshield. And again, I'm kind of holding back on all this as of right now, because I do want to get window tints for the vehicle. And if I mount this with adhesive now, that means I'm going to have to take it off, get the window tints, then remount it again, and then that's going to be a hassle. So I'd rather get the tints now, then put the adhesive on it with the, you know, mounting the camera and all that good stuff. That would be for the camera for the rear. So either rear dash cam or rear bumper cam for when I'm parking. Then for the sides, for the blind spots, there's a mirror for rear view mirror that is a 4-channel that has 4 cameras basically. So, and these cameras are all standalone, and 2 of them are built in a way that is almost identical to the cameras that come in the Teslas, and with the same styling where it's almost kind of like a shark fin. And what I'm thinking of doing is putting, with it supposedly says no drilling, and it provides the 3M adhesive that you need. So you would apply those on the fenders at the right angle to provide you the, you know, the visibility so you don't get in any accidents. And on the rear view mirror that basically clips onto it, into your existing rear view mirror, you can actually designate which camera you see from either all 4 cameras running in the same time, or in my preference I would have just the 2 side cameras, because my dash cam would be in the front, and obviously I don't need to look in the rear view mirror to see what's going on in the front, because, you know, obviously you're looking in the front. The rear view camera, you know, obviously another downside to the CRZ is that the rear view, when you're looking through the rear view mirror, there isn't really that much that you can see, because there's the, I don't know what pillar it would be called, but on the trunk there's a pillar basically that kind of cuts the whole line of sight. And then, you know, if I'm getting tints, it's only going to get worse. So maybe doing the visibility for 3 cameras on the rear view mirror clip-on may be a good idea. So I would basically set it up on the left side. It would be the left side blind spot camera, middle for the rear view camera, either on the bumper or on the back glass. And then on the right side, it would be the blind spot camera for the right side. So I'm thinking about that. Roughly, it would be, I think it was, let me see here. So we got everything we need for setting up 2 cameras already, and I think the clip-on was $169 or $179. It was under $200, and it was over $150. And then I do have to probably buy some wire loom just to protect it, because it's ChatGPT basically mentioned that, you know, I should feed it through the cabin. What was that? Not the cabin. The wire loom through the firewall that goes in through. I have to double check, but basically feed it through the firewall, because I had thought about doing it through the fender gap and then from there doing it through the weather strip, and then kind of squishing in the weather strip. But it's said that the weather strip and the door seal over time can actually kind of puncture it, and it cause a temporary loss of connection through the camera feed, or eventually just break the whole signal. So I kind of have to figure that out, do a little bit more research, but $150 to $200, and that will take care of all my issues as far as blind spots, and I will have visibility for the cameras. The other camera that I forgot to mention is the other front camera, since that 4-way channel rear view camera clip-on comes with 4 cameras. So 2 on the sides, 1 either on the bumper or 1 on the rear window, and then the other one is going to be mounted on the front bumper. That way when I'm parking close to any curb stomps, I can kind of see exactly how close I'm getting to or how far I am away from it. And that's also good for parallel parking, because this one doesn't parallel park by itself. It's a 2012. It doesn't have any of that high tech, where it gives you alertness, how close you are to the car. So it'll take some getting used to, practice runs and stuff like that, and visually just getting an idea of how close the camera is accurate to the actual world measurements. But I'm sure a couple times I'll figure it out. Let me see what else. So I had planned on going to GNC to get some weight loss pills, because you can see I'm starting to get a little on the heavier side again. Basically at the weight that I was at when I was, I want to say senior year, first year of college. And, it's about that time again. So I need to figure out, food wise, basically that's the only downside right now, because when I had lost all that weight, I was working at Subway and I was eating salads and running 3 miles. But long story short, I'm at where I'm at now, so I need to figure out something that can kind of give me the same satisfaction as far as food wise and keep me motivated while still working, studying, and providing all these daily vlogs for Cozy, for entertainment, for the history of the channel, and for the history of the business. But yeah, stay tuned for that. If you guys got any recommendations as far as weight loss pills and what you have actually seen results with, drop it in the comments. I was recommended from GNC Lipo Rush XT, but then I typed it in Google, into the YouTube search, and it looks like 2 people were mentioning that it completely just crashed them, as far as within a couple hours. And that they don't recommend taking it. It supposedly has 305 milligrams of coffee. The one that I had taken when I was working at Subway had 105 milligrams of coffee, but it wasn't FDA approved at the time. And then after them finding out FDA approval, they had to retweak the formula, because I guess there was something in it that wasn't healthy. And I mean, obviously I'm at where I'm at now, and I kept the weight off for, let's say, 5 years, and I mean, I felt great. But yeah, that's that. And I need to find something to basically give me that same boost that Oxy Elite Pro did. So again, if you guys got any recommendations, just drop it in the comments below. I'll look into it and stuff like that, and I'm willing to give it a go. If you want to send some trials my way, definitely send some trials my way. I'd be willing to test it out. Again, I'm 35, 5'9". I do smoke cigarettes every once in a while. I do drink sometimes as well. Weigh 280 pounds. Other than health issues like diabetes or anything like that, I don't have anything like that. But mainly it's going to be cardio. No really lifting weights or anything like that. I need to drop all that just excessive, just fat, just that I got going on. I really don't believe, as far as the whole, lifting weights, that you'll burn the calories. I just really don't believe in that. I believe first you got to, burn everything you got. Once you burn everything you got, then you start feeding yourself more protein to build while you're working with muscle, routines. That's just my theory, but yeah. Let me see, what else am I missing out to tell you guys? Next Saturday and I believe next Sunday I am off. But next Saturday is raining, and I think next Sunday it's either raining or it's going to be cold. But next Saturday it's supposed to be nice, but it's supposed to be raining. So I may be able to work inside my parents' garage on my car. And what I'm planning on doing is, or before I jump into that, I missed, or the previous owner missed the valve and check adjustments for the 80,000 mark. I believe it is when it's scheduled to be checked. I picked up the car when it had 103, I believe. So I knew that was coming up, and there's, I believe, a slight ticking noise. But again, these Honda engines, they always kind of have a slight ticking noise. So again, I'm not too sure if it's just the engine itself or the valves need to get adjusted. But regardless, I have to get it checked anyways. And my local Honda had quoted me $500 with valve cover gasket change. And I wanted to ask them as far as doing an intake and exhaust valve cleaning. And I had done a little bit of research. Looks like there's Lucas, there is Seafoam, but those are kind of just like routine stuff. But I wanted to do an actual deep, thorough cleaning. And it looks like if you want to do a deep, thorough cleaning, and one that you haven't done in a while, you want to use a product called BG44K. There, you can find them on Amazon and stuff. I was trying to get them at my work at O'Reilly, and unfortunately we can't get those. So I wanted to ask either a service advisor, or for the service advisor to ask one of the techs on their recommendations. Should I take my car there to the Honda dealership, have them run the fuel system cleaner, the BG44K, have them, have the system kind of circulate, clean the, supposedly clean the system with the exhaust valves and intake valves and the fuel injectors and all that other good stuff, and then have the valves checked, which I'm assuming is the way to go. But again, I could be wrong, so I want to get their opinion, because if you think about it, if they were to adjust the valves and all that stuff and then run the cleaner, a lot of times there's varnish, oil varnish and stuff like that on those valves, so the adjustment is basically going to be a waste of money. So I'm going to have to get everything readjusted again. So I want to get his opinion on something like that. The vehicle right now currently sits at 111,506 miles. I will probably post on the forums on Facebook and see what people think as far as their recommendation on something like this. And now back to the topic that I was mentioning for this Saturday coming up. I bought a new cold air intake, a new cone. It's a 10-inch one. So I'm hoping that when I install it, there's enough clearance room for when the hood closes, it doesn't push on the cone, or it doesn't smash on the cone, or it basically doesn't just pop off the clamp off of it. So again, test fitting, something like that. I bought some throttle body cleaner. I bought a new gasket. The CRZ is an electronic throttle body, so you can't manually just push the butterfly open. So if my dad is off, I'll have him press on the gas pedal, and basically that'll open up the butterfly. And then I bought some shop rags. I bought a pack of 3 brushes, which I will only need the nylon brush. But at O'Reilly's you get the nylon brush, you get the the gold metal brush, and then you get the silver metal brush. I think it was like $349 or so, but I think so. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah. So the throttle body cleaning, if I'm able to get a nice, deep cleaning without having to dismount the throttle body, if I can get a good cleaning and it looks like it's pretty dirty, and my dad is working, then I'll have to, take off the throttle body, take off the gasket, do the cleaning, mount the gasket, put on the throttle body. Then after doing that, cover it up, so nothing gets in there. Then while I have the intake boot, I guess if you want to call it, but in my case it's the intake, the colder intake piping. I plan on running some of the throttle body cleaner through that, put some rags through it, clean it out, and then installing the filter like I had mentioned. And then I also bought a new thermostat because I think my thermostat is stuck open. I've been having some warming up issues from taking 15, 20, 25 minutes warming up on a 30-degree day when it's like negative 25 below. It can take up to like 30, 35 minutes just to warm up the engine for the blue indicator light to go away from the coolant level or the coolant temperature. I bought the coolant as well. And then I think that is about it that I bought for mods for the vehicle. And then depending on my tax return comes in, I can't remember if I got the Fed one or the state one. I need a new I wouldn't say I need a new seat, but I kind of just need I'll show you here. So supposedly the CRZ, the CRZ is notorious for having, where is it? Man, what the hell is it? I don't know if you can see it, but that ripped. It's just from normal wear and tear. And the driver's side or the passenger side, you can kind of notice it starting to happen there, just the ruffling effect, but there is no tear. So the passenger side one is good. But yeah, at my local junkyard about an hour away, they have one for 125 or 150 or something like that. And I'm gonna ask her because they have some. I don't know if there was pictures on it, but I'm gonna ask her if she can send me some pictures, so I don't avoid, so I can avoid, driving out to, a piece of junk part, basically. But yeah, and then from there, planning on changing the gray interior on the vehicle that you can see to black. So you guys will have to stay tuned to that. That's going to be used either with vinyl wrap or the vinyl fabric spray paint. The headliner is going to be painted black. And the reason I'm going all black is because the 2022 Honda Accord that I had a little while ago, the whole interior was black, except for the seats and the floor mats. Those I had a red wine color, custom made, like seat covers. And to this day I miss the car, but I mean this is where we're at now, and I really love the black headliner just because it makes you feel like cozy inside in a way. But yeah, there's a couple other things that I have to do to the vehicle, but again, you need the money. And once that comes around, you'll be seeing some upgrades as far as wheels, tires that I'll be running for the summer. May happen this year, maybe, we'll see. There is more things there in priority for the vehicle that just to keep it running before I can make it more appearance happy, I guess. But other than that, if you guys got any questions or any ideas on what I could kind of, do to help out the CRZ run a little bit longer, or checks to do while I'm at the dealership, drop them in the comments below, and yeah, I'll be kind of glancing at those comments and responding to some. Again, I got a full week schedule coming up, but other than that, hope you guys have a good Sunday, and yeah, talk to you guys later. All right, peace.